Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalia.costa, and in this video we're gonna talk about the gene keys. What are the gene keys? So the gene keys are a system created by Richard Rudd, and this system is based on the 64 archetypes of the I Ching. So the I Ching has 64 hexagrams, and to each hexagram there is an archetype that Richard Rudd further explores with his work with the gene keys. Our DNA also has 64 codons, and those 64 codons correspond to each hexagram of the I Ching, and that is the work that Richard does with the gene keys. So basically he associates our DNA, the 64 codons that are present in our DNA, to an archetype that corresponds to an hexagram of the I Ching. So basically it's a theme that we all have these 64 themes in our lives as human beings, but some themes may be more present than others depending on our natal chart. So the moment we were born and that we took a breath on this earth for the first time, it's a relevant moment because according to the astrological events and the astrological map on that moment, certain influences were more present or are more present throughout our life, certain themes, certain gifts that we are here to work closer with. We all have the 64 gifts, the 64 themes, but some may be more evident and more present in our lives than others. And that's the work of the gene keys. The 64 gene keys, each gene key has a different vibration. I'm going to give you the example of gene key number 5. Gene key number 5, for example, the main theme is rhythm and time. So if you are at what they call the shadow frequency, because you can be in a wide variety, wide range of frequencies within each gene key, but for the purpose of this work they divided these frequencies into 3 main ones. And if you are in what they call the shadow frequency, which would be a lower vibrational frequency, you are experiencing impatience. That's the theme of the rhythms and times when we are at a shadow frequency. When we are at a gift frequency, the theme or the attitude would be patience. So it's easy to see here that it's the same theme, rhythms and time, but if you are at a shadow frequency, you will be experiencing impatience. If you are at a gift frequency, you will be experiencing, or you will be with an attitude of patience towards the same subject. So impatience and patience. And then the last level of frequency, that is called the CD. It's a Sanskrit word that Richard Rudd chose to portray the highest level, the highest frequency for each theme. In this case, it would be timelessness, because that's when we transcend time altogether. So the subject of time, it could be impatience, patience, but then when it is completely transcended, it is timelessness. So this portrays the different levels of frequency that we can have in these themes throughout our lives. This is an example. But the gene key that would summarize all of the 64 gene keys would be gene key 55, which is highly connected to the upcoming 2027 change that is coming, and that I will at a later stage do a video about. This gene key would summarize all the other gene keys with its theme. So all the 64 shadows could be summarized as the shadow of victimization. Victimization is a low frequency mode where we believe we are victims of something. In this victimization state, we have a repressive mode and a reactive mode. In the repressive state, our attitude would be that of complaining, whining about this, whining about that. It would be a complete complaint all along. This would be a repressive state of the victimization. The person who is always complaining about everything in their life, the one who we've all been there, because we are humans and we all do it daily. It's just part of our it's part of our nature. But the repressive state is to be complaining about things that are in our reality. And then the reactive state would be that of blaming. So in the reactive state, the person, instead of just turning inwards and complaining and whining, the person will turn outside and it will actively seek someone or something to blame, someone or something to make guilty for what is happening in their lives or in the world or wherever. So victimization has these two main ways to operate, and all these 64 gene keys, in their respective themes, they are a representation of this victimization state. And then we have the gift and the CD frequency, and the gift frequency of victimization is freedom. So freedom is the summary for all the gift frequencies and CD frequencies of all the other 64 gene keys, because that's when we are truly free, when we are free from our suffering, from the suffering we cause ourselves with a victimization mindset. So when we realize that it's our attitude that keeps us victims and not what our reality plays out, that's when things start shifting. And in fact, in the book, which I highly recommend reading, it's quite a journey, this book. The first chapter, Richard explains happy genetics, and he explains the importance of our attitude in the outcome of situations. This is quantum physics, the observer effect. I find this very similar to a movie I really love, Groundhog Day. It's a 92 or 93 film with Bill Murray and Andy McDowell. And basically in the film, he keeps awakening in the same day over and over again. It's always the same day, the same winter day, the same day that he doesn't want to live, he doesn't want to be there. And throughout the film, we see his shift in attitude and on how he starts handling the reality that he's living over and over again. And for me, this movie represents the journey from victimization to freedom. So I highly recommend watching that film as well. For further informations, contact me. I would be happy to give you more info about this topic. But please do read the book. It's a wonderful journey. Take a look at the website of the Gene Keys, where you can find the Golden Path, which I also highly recommend. It's quite a journey. It's a shamanic journey to take that to take those sequences. It's very enriching for anyone's life. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.